The red light on Fifth Avenue. I swear it felt like it was holding the whole world hostage that day. And for once, not even the expensive leather in my Mercedes or the dull weight of my own name could keep my nerves in check. I just kept drumming my fingers, thinking about my daughter, Sophie. Missing 4 days, gone without a trace, and I hadn't slept a wink since, when suddenly I saw him. This skinny black kid weaving between cars selling candy. And there it was, right around his neck. My blood ran cold, because he was wearing the one thing I'd recognize anywhere. A silver butterfly necklace encrusted with diamonds. Custom made for Sophie last Christmas. A little piece of her shining in the middle of Manhattan chaos, like some cruel joke or miracle. I couldn't tell which, so I just threw open the door, didn't care about the angry honks or the traffic. I ran, "Hey, kid, wait." I must have sounded desperate, because the boy, later I'd know him as Marcus, took off like lightning. "Look, you grow up where he did. A rich white man running after you in Manhattan never means anything good. And I get it now. But at that moment all I could do was run, dodging cabs, yelling, 'Please, I just want to talk about the necklace. I'm not angry. I promise.' Finally he stops, middle of the sidewalk, breathing heavy, sizing me up like he's deciding whether I'm the threat or the rescue. And in his voice I hear that mix of fear and defiance only a kid who survived on his own too long can have. "I didn't steal anything, sir. I swear to God. And it's all I can do to choke out. I know you didn't steal it. That necklace belonged to my daughter. She's missing," and something in my voice, the rawness, must have gotten through, because Marcus's eyes soften. "Just a flicker. I found a girl," he whispers, voice barely above the rush of cars. "She was hurt, hiding in an abandoned building in the Bronx. I thought she was dead, but she gave me this, told me to find her dad. You know that feeling when your world spins so fast you can barely breathe? That was me, right there on the street, knees almost buckling. Where is she? Is she alive?" I grab his shoulder, and he doesn't flinch, just shakes his head. "I took care of her 3 days. She's alive. But sir, she said things about who did this. And it's not what you think. This wasn't just some random kidnapping. We're standing on the curb, people passing by, nobody realizing that two strangers just had their lives changed in an instant. Take me to her now," I beg, fishing out my car keys. But Marcus shakes his head. "Not in that car. Too flashy. Besides, there's something you need to know first. I saw who left her there. And if I'm right, you're not gonna like it." And that's how I ended up following this street-smart kid down into the subway. My whole life unraveling on a rickety train to the Bronx. Marcus telling me details that made my stomach twist. Sophie, just 9, hiding in the basement of an abandoned building, wrists marked like she'd been tied up, whispering Uncle David over and over, always crying after. Uncle David, my best friend, my daughter's godfather, the man who'd been my rock since my wife died last year, the man who told me to beef up security, who held me when I broke down, who I'd trusted with my life. You know what I mean. "This feels like a bad movie, right?" Marcus says, but his eyes are dead serious. "He was talking on the phone about you, about money and contracts, about how if she talked, something bad would happen to you, too." That's when I realized, for days searching, the cops, the private eyes, all useless. My daughter was saved by the one person nobody ever noticed. A kid the world ignored. The building was red brick, graffiti everywhere. And inside, I found Sophie curled on a mattress, clutching a beat-up teddy bear. Her voice just a breath, "Daddy." I held her, tried not to break, but every word she whispered made me colder. Uncle David told her it was a game, that I knew, but then he got mad, started yelling about money, told her if she said anything, I'd be in danger too. And Marcus, God, the kid's a better detective than any I ever hired. Tells me David's been using my absence to transfer money, sign papers, steal from my company right under my nose. All while pretending to help. All while holding my little girl hostage to buy time. And to top it off, Marcus saw David meeting with 2 men in suits. One a politician who preaches family values on TV. The other someone from the police. I thought betrayal hurt. But this was nuclear. And in that dank basement, I looked at Marcus, this kid who'd risked everything for a girl he didn't know. And I realized pain's just fuel if you use it right. You want to help bring these men down? I ask, and he nods. No hesitation. So we get to work. Not like the movies, but with real, ugly grit over the next 24 hours. While Sophie recovered under a fake name at a private hospital, I dropped off the radar. No more press, no more detectives, just silence. And David bought it, calling me with crocodile tears. Robert, don't give up. It was almost artful, how he played his role. But I was done being the Marquis, moved into a tiny apartment in the Bronx, 3 blocks from where Marcus survived. Because if you want to fight rats, you don't hire hounds. You hire the one rat smart enough to map the tunnels. Marcus knew every camera blind spot, every cop on the take, every alley where secrets get traded for 20 bucks. That's how we found Elena, a legal clinic attorney who'd grown up like Marcus, but now had a law degree and a personal vendetta against rich men who abused the system. Let me get this straight, she laughs, flipping through my evidence. Your best friend kidnaps your daughter to loot your company, then plans to rescue her for PR? I've seen soap operas with less drama. The twist? David's plan was to find Sophie miraculously within 48 hours, play the hero, cover his tracks, walk away richer. He never counted on Marcus, the invisible spy, picking up passwords and meeting times, names and cash amounts, even the exact spot for their next meeting. A fancy Italian joint on the east side. 2 p.m. What David didn't know and never saw coming was that Elena had pulled bank records. David transferred company money using his own personal account, a rookie move that left a trail a mile wide. And we had it all. Proof the best lawyer couldn't explain away. Tuesday rolls around. Gray skies like the city's holding its breath, and in that Italian restaurant, David struts in with his politician and dirty cop, popping champagne, talking big. Meanwhile, Marcus sits at the back, just another kid, his jacket wired, streaming every word to Elena in a van down the block, while 3 hidden cameras and 2 journalists wait for the signal. 50 grand for you. Harrison, 30 for you. Murphy, David says, laughing about my pain. Right then, Marcus stands, walks over, and drops the bomb. Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm Marcus, and I've been listening to you for 4 days. This conversation is live right now. See that woman? Reporter. That man. Federal attorney. Those folks at the bar? FBI. The color drains from their faces, panic hits, and that's when I walk in. Elena and the feds behind me. Friends don't kidnap daughters, David, I say. And he tries to beg, but the time for that is over. Elena drops the evidence. The feds slap the cuffs. And Marcus, God, the kid just shows them the live stream. 500,000 people watching as these men lose everything in real time. Their names already hashtags for justice. David's wife divorces him in public. His company crumbles. The cop and politician are ruined. And in that instant, in the shattered silence of a restaurant built on lies, it's not just about Sophie or about me. It's about every person the world tried to keep invisible. 6 months later, I'm running a new firm, profits secondary to purpose. And the Marcus and Sophie Foundation has pulled 250 kids off the street this quarter. Sophie's thriving. Marcus wears a prep school blazer but never forgets who he is. Elena runs our legal work, and the world's a little more honest. For it one day, Sophie asks, Dad, have you forgiven Uncle David? And I have to stop, because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about not letting their hate shape you. It's about building something better, not tearing yourself apart for their sake. That's justice, not revenge. And as Marcus tells his story to kids who feel invisible, I watch him turn pain into hope, street wisdom into power, and I realize David didn't just fail to destroy us. He built a family stronger than blood, forged in fire. Some nights I wonder, what if David hadn't been so greedy? If I'd seen the signs? But you know what? Sometimes the worst people give you the best reason to become who you're meant to be. In our story, it's not about beating the bad guys. It's about proving they were never as strong as the people they overlooked. So, if you're out there, watching this, thinking you're invisible, think again. The world underestimates you. But that's your greatest weapon, because when you stand up for what's right, when you turn pain into purpose, nobody can see you coming. Tell me below, what would you do for justice? What does forgiveness mean to you? And who are the invisible heroes in your life? Let's talk about it. Because sometimes justice starts with one small act no one expects and ends with a world changed for the better.